Howdy y'all, my name is Caroline, and today we are talking all things War of the Bounty Hunters. In 2021, Charles Soule launched a huge initiative in Star Wars comics with War of the Bounty Hunters. The series was the first full crossover event in the modern era. Although we had seen mini crossovers before, War of the Bounty Hunters was different. It would dominate all of the Star Wars comic landscape, minus the High Republic. The story started out as an explanation of what happened to Boba Fett as he tried to secure the bounty of Han Solo after the events of The Empire Strikes Back. As the months went on, the story to have far-reaching implications. Eventually, Charles Soule revealed that War of the Bounty Hunters was part one of a three-part series. The next two installments will be Crimson Reign and Hidden Empire, all leading up to Return of the Jedi. So now that we've set the stage, it's important to understand how everything fits together. The event has 6 issues of self-titled main series, including the Alpha, 4 standalone short comics, and a full arc of each of the 4 Marvel ongoing series. In total, that spans 34 issues of comics. While that may seem overwhelming, we here at Youtini are here to help you out. The first thing to know is what series lead into the event. First, you'll want to check out Star Wars 2020, written by Charles Soule with art by Raymond Rosanas. Then you can check out Bounty Hunters, written by Ethan Sachs with art by Paolo Villanelli. And then you can read Darth Vader 2020, written by Greg Pak with art by Raphael Ienzo. Lastly, you can read Dr. Aphra 2020 by Alyssa Wong and art by Mingyu Jung. You can get a recap of each of those series by checking out our guide linked below in the description. Beyond the characters of the main series, there are a few other characters that play a very important role. Everyone's favorite bounty hunter Boba Fett is just trying to finish his job by taking Han Solo's carbonite from Bespin. And Kira, Han's love interest first introduced in Solo: A Star Wars Story, makes her return in the first issue of War of the Bounty Hunters as she brings back the crime syndicate Crimson Dawn from the dead. So now that we've set the stage, let's talk about how to read War of the Bounty Hunters. Again, there are 34 issues, but don't worry, you don't have to read all of them to absorb the story. Firstly, you'll want to choose if you want to read the comics physically or digitally. For digital, your 2 main options are using the Marvel Unlimited subscription service or buying them permanently via Comixology/Amazon. You also have a few options if you go the physical route if you haven't already bought all the single issues. So first up is trade paperbacks, which will probably be the most popular way people come to the series if they haven't read it already. Trade paperbacks are collections of about 4 to 6 issues bound together that usually come out months after initial release. The War of the Bounty Hunters is split into 6 trade paperbacks. There is one for each ongoing series, one for the main series and the Alpha, and one for the 4 one-shots called The Companion. These include Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Volume 1, Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Companion Volume 1, Star Wars 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters, Bounty Hunters 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters, Darth Vader 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters, and Dr. Aphra 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters. Now for the collectors, Marvel has also created a War of the Bounty Hunters omnibus. Omnibuses are premium formats that usually collect every issue within a series. The books are hardback and the pages are larger than that of a trade paperback. The War of the Bounty Hunters omnibus will collect all 34 issues and will be released in October of 2022. Now it comes to the order you're going to read the issues. This will influence the format which you purchase the books in and vice versa. Let's take a look at the 2 orders of reading that will help you pick the best experience, either reading every issue or reading a more condensed order. So first up, official reading order. Marvel has published their full order of reading via Wikipedia, which essentially follows the order of publishing. For a slightly improved experience, we would recommend swapping Dr. Aphra number 12 and War of the Bounty Hunters number 2. We would also recommend swapping Bounty Hunters number 15 for Elohim and Zuckuss and putting Star Wars number 18 at the very end. So the next option is reading through each trade paperback one at a time. Here is our recommended reading order, though feel free to read however you choose. So we recommend starting off with Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Volume 1, then going Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Companion Volume 1, Darth Vader 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters, Dr. Aphra 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters, Bounty Hunters 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters, and lastly Star Wars 2020 Volume 3 War of the Bounty Hunters. This method makes it easier to keep track of individual storylines. It also allows you to easily skip stories that you might not be interested in. Lastly, you don't have to be flipping back and forth between different books to keep up with the true order. The one main downside is you might have trouble figuring out where the companion books fit in. So we here at Youtini have come up with our own curated reading list. We've tried to cut down on a lot of the issues we didn't feel were essential to the central plot, and all of the issues I'm about to list are available on digital platforms. So first we recommend War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha 1, then War of the Bounty Hunters 1. Thirdly, we recommend Star Wars 2020 issue 14, then Dr. Aphra 2020 number 11, then War of the Bounty Hunters 2, then War of the Bounty Hunters Jabba the Hutt 11, then War of the Bounty Hunters for Lam and Zuckuss 1. Then we recommend Bounty Hunters number 15, then War of the Bounty Hunters 3, then Darth Vader 2020 issue 15, then War of the Bounty Hunters 4, then War of the Bounty Hunters Boesch number 1, then Bounty Hunters number 16, followed by Star Wars 2020 issue 17, and then War of the Bounty Hunters issue 5, then Dr. Aphra 2020 number 15, then Darth Vader 2020 number 17. After that, War of the Bounty Hunters IG-88 number 1, then Bounty Hunters 17, and then Star Wars 2020 number 18. So the final and most streamlined version of reading is picking up the main War of the Bounty Hunters trade paperback. This volume contains both the alpha and issues 1 through 5 of War of the Bounty Hunters. This will give you the main plot and drama between Kira and Boba Fett and everyone else, but you will miss some of the finer details covered in tie-in issues. Star Wars number 18 packs a huge punch as an epilogue and would be a good supplement if you want to add just a little more. Whatever way you choose to read is completely valid. There is no shame in whatever route you decide to take, and whatever you choose should set you up pretty well for Crimson Dawn and Hidden Empire going forward. So now you should have everything you need to both read War of the Bounty Hunters and prepare for Crimson Dawn and Hidden Empire. This trilogy will be a defining piece of media for the post-Empire Strikes Back era, and it is a must-read for original trilogy fans. For more information about these upcoming events and all things Star Wars comics, be sure to keep your eye out on Youtini and check out the Cosmic Force every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. The written version of this guide is linked below in our description, so make sure and check that out for more information. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications for whenever we upload. Happy reading, and may the Force be with you.